Welcome to the Deep Dive with Deja. I am so excited to be here with two incredibly prolific individuals whose service is at the heart and the center of everything that they do. They're here to talk about the HBCU All-Star Game and the HBCU All-Star Experience and all of what it is. Travis L. Williams and Felicia Hall Allen. How are you all doing today?
We're doing great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you all to be here. So tell me a little bit about who you all are and what it is that you all are doing.
First of all, I want to say thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for allowing us to be here with you, Deja, this morning. So this is such a historic moment. So my name is Travis L. Williams. I'm the CEO and founder of HBCU All-Stars. We're a black-owned sports marketing events and media company located in Atlanta, Georgia. And I said thank you, God, for a reason. We show the world that HBCUs matter. So it's our goal, our ultimate goal is to continue to provide ear and order, exposure, access, recognition, opportunity, resource, and results for some of our proud, prestigious, tradition-rich HBCUs, hard-working, talented, ambitious, and very deserving students, and some of our brilliant coaches across the country that don't get the notoriety, don't get the shine. And so we just want to say thank you for having us here today.
Yeah, so first, I want to ask you, why do HBCUs matter? Because there's a lot going on right now surrounding, So why do they matter?
I think it's important. When you look across the landscape, our HBCUs have created some of the most amazing doctors, lawyers. As you look at a few years ago, the Vice President Kamala Harris. And so we breed success. We're nurturing. We love on our people. We impact the community. And I think it matters during college basketball biggest weekend here and Final Four here in the great city in Indianapolis. And so when all eyes are here in Indianapolis, we want to show them that our HBCUs matter. We can celebrate us on and off the basketball court.
Yes, awesome. And Felicia, I want to bring you in here a little bit too. So tell us about who you are.
My name, again, Felicia Hall Allen. I am proud to be from the fine, great state of Louisiana, where we always let the good times roll. And we know that basketball is one of those things that rolls. And I have an opportunity to give an assist to Coach Travis Williams as the business affairs consultant.
Yeah, wow, that is amazing. And Louisiana was the first place that you had the All-Star Game. Tell me a little bit about that. When you started first.
Well, this is going to take you to a full circle moment. So
yeah.
Actually, we were scheduled to do the first ever All-Star Game in April 2021 in this exact location.
No!
Yeah, but
really?
we had too many COVID restrictions in place.
That makes sense.
In order for us to celebrate Black excellence at the highest level, so our corporate partners at the time, CBS, and they got along, they got with my wife and some of our leaders and Felicia said, hey, let's focus on 2022 in New Orleans. That gave us an opportunity to really plan on a grand scale. Now, let me paint this picture for you.
Yeah.
In April 2022, we hosted the first ever All-Star Game ever during the 40-year history of the NCAA March Madness tournament. And so you couldn't get a better audience, another national brand. We had Duke, North Carolina, Villanova, and Kansas. And our HBCU All-Stars, they are represented in April 2022.
Wow.
That's truly God-driven mission.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what did it mean to you for it to be in Louisiana?
You know what I have taken a lot of pride in is the fact that Travis and Kaya Williams, his wife, the co-founders of HBCU All-Stars, decided that they would not randomly select a location for the game. All of the games, all 4 games, have been hosted in a Final Four market.
Oh, okay.
He talks a lot about exposure. And you know how the UNCF is, the mind is a terrible thing to waste, so is an opportunity.
Yeah.
And so they've decided to take advantage of the Final Four platform during the biggest weekend of college basketball. And that's where we host the HBCU All-Star Game. So New Orleans, and then Houston, and then Phoenix, San Antonio, and now Indianapolis, Indiana.
Awesome. Okay, I have to tell you, I went to New Orleans for the first time this past year in 2000, just a few months ago for my birthday in September, and y'all did not tell right. Like New
Amazing
Orleans
city.
is
It's
an
amazing.
amazing city.
It's
It was
amazing.
straight out of like Princess and the Frog.
Oh.
Like, you know, I was like,
Did you eat some crawfish and some beignets?
I had
yeah.
a beignet. I was like, what? Why nobody told me? Why nobody told me about this?
A
You
little
know?
bit of gumbo and fried catfish.
I said, now wait
The
a
food is
minute,
big time.
you know.
Yes,
And
yes.
so, you know, I don't know. You know, I love Indianapolis. I don't know if we can. We'll have that good of food because I was not prepared. Louisiana is on a different level, and so I will say that was an absolute beautiful city. It was my first time ever going there, and so why did you all select Indianapolis? Now I know we had the final, you know, I get that aspect of it, but is there any kind of other importance about Indianapolis that you were like, you know what, this is what we're going to do?
I think life comes full circle. You got to think about it, Deja. This is Easter weekend. As I mentioned to you, it's Easter Sunday where this game is hosted, and so we started
realize
off by saying this is truly a God-driven vision. And initially, we were scheduled to host this game in 2021. So, and as Felicia stated, this is a part college basketball biggest weekend. And to put it in perspective, this year here in your great city, this is where the NCAA headquarters is located. So they're going to have the Division I, Division II, Division III, and the NIT championships all here, and our HBCU All-Star. As you
Awesome.
mentioned, Indianapolis is a sports town, sports capital of the world. The true fans of sports. If you're basketball, if you're football, if you're a sports fan, you engage in what it means to celebrate basketball and sports here. So that's the important factor of hosting it here.
Coach, I got a few questions for you. So first, you talk a lot about God.
Yeah.
What does God mean to you? Because I didn't even realize it was on Easter. Like I didn't even catch it. You know, I don't. It always for me, Easter is always like whenever, or you know, Resurrection Sunday. Whenever it comes around, I'm always like, oh, it's this week. You know, oh, it's early this year. Oh, it's late this year. You know, I always have that mentality. But you caught it early, and you have since. You know, I've been talking to you since the very moment. Faith has been much of what seems to put you in motion. What's the reason behind that?
God didn't give up on me. Yeah, God did not give up on me. I lost my mother at the age of 12. She passed away of lupus at age 30. Didn't have a father figure in my life. I come from a praying grandmother. And I recall it like yesterday, sitting at the end of my mother's bed, and I noticed that she would read the Bible every day. That was her way. And so faith was instilled in me at such an early age. And so to be juggled from family to family, and experiencing some challenges growing up in South Georgia, and just knowing that God did not give up on me. And
What do you mean you say juggled? Did you say juggled family
juggle
to
from
family?
family to family.
What does that mean?
Or who's going to take care of me? Who's going to raise me? Guardian. Who's going to raise me, my brother and sister, our siblings? And so when you juggle from whether it's an aunt or a cousin, who's going to get legal guardianship of us? So that's what I mean by juggling from family to family. Not, you know, that sense of stability. And so, but that's faith, that's favor, and that's God did not give up on me. And so, of course, we, have mentors in my life, from being able to use basketball to get off the streets and stay out of trouble. And became a pretty good basketball player, and kind of, signed up for basketball scholarship and being the first in my family to attend college. But the faith was instilled in me from my grandmother, praying mother.
Yeah, you're a basketball star as well as a basketball coach. So tell me a little bit about your coaching experience.
Well, like I said, it started from some of my coaches that were mentors and poured into me, because, I'm the first in my family to attend college and first in my family to graduate college. So coming out, my high school coach asked me, he said, Coach, he said, Travis, what do you want to do? I said, I'm going to the military, Coach. He said, military? I said, yeah. He said, you ever thought about college? I said, Coach, nobody in my family attended college. So if no one in your family didn't attend college, you're not exposed to it.
You don't know it.
And so he kind of pulled me aside, took me down to my counsel, put me on kind of the right track, and then, of course, had me believing. And really important to me at that time was a father figure. And so one reason I had a 17-year coaching career is because of the impact that my coaches, not only my high school coach made on me, but the college coaches that recruited me to play college basketball at Georgia State University. And then some of the coaches that I had opportunity to coach under as associate and assistant coaches and their impact that I had opportunity to get in the business. And then, of course, being a former Division I head coach and a Division II coach, had two prestigious HBCUs, Tennessee State University and Fort Valley State University, which laid the foundation for what we're doing to now in this HBCU All-Star space. So that's how life comes full circle for me in this space.
Yeah, so how does it come full circle for you?
Basketball changed the trajectory of my life. And when Travis starts to talk, I always feel like, put me in, coach, put me in the game, because he gets me so excited about why we do this. And I think that I was fortunate enough to play basketball for two really good coaches in high school. And I always said I would speak his name because he's transitioned now to his heavenly home, Coach Willie Stevens. He changed my life and helped me to understand that basketball could take me anywhere I could dream of going. And it, in fact, did that. I got a basketball scholarship to play for a Hall of Fame coach, C. Vivian Stringer, at the University of Iowa. She was a coach at Cheney State University, and the only HBCU that competed for a national championship, the very first women's basketball national championship. Cheney State University and HBCU played. It has not happened since that time, in the early 80s. However,
Amazing.
Coach Stringer was my coach at Iowa. I won 3 Big Ten championships and played with the National Player of the Year. And then here comes this girl, Caitlin Clark, who plays with the WNBA Indiana Fever, and helped put us back on the map. So I'm really excited about that. But I feel blessed and fortunate to be in this space and to be supporting HBCUs. When I was in high school, I grew up in one of those underrepresented sort of communities, and we had a program called Upward Bound. And I am a product of Upward Bound, and it happens mostly on HBCU campuses. It was a federally funded program. I was at Southern University in Shreveport, Louisiana. My dream school growing up was Southern University. I love when they would be like, a lot of defense, Jags defense. And then Grambling State University was right up the street, where the legendary coach Eddie Robinson, who is just, a man among men and champions, and they played in the Bayou Classic. It was a huge thing. The whole HBCU culture. A lot of the students who attended my high school, which was 99.9% black, went to HBCUs. I got a little good in basketball, and although I didn't attend an HBCU, I played for a black female head coach, and it put me on a completely different course. And that's why I buy into Travis's mission about exposure and opportunity. Basketball allows us to see and do things that might not be possible for just a regular average student at a college or university.
Yeah. Wow. This is what I say. You all do so much, and your lives have been so incredibly impactful. And I know, basketball can do a lot for people. I used to be a former basketball player myself.
Okay.
Now that no. It was hardly like that, but we did win the 6th grade championship.
Sixth grade.
You took it back. You went down memory lane.
Championship is a championship, right? That's what I'm saying. That's all that matters. You can always remember that.
And let me tell you, I really feel like this could have been on ESPN because the team was they were so big and bad and bold, and for 6th grade girls, they were tough, they had, and so what their coach did was their coach decided to put at the championship game, he put their names on the first place trophies. I know. And then so at the end, of course we won. We were all walking out with second place medals. Even I know they played us, but they because they were so convinced that they would win. But we had that faith, we had that dog in us.
That's what I'm talking about. Dad.
In the sixth grade, and so you have mentioned a lot about what keeps you going, but I wanted you, if you can, to Travis, if you could break down what is ear and or. I know you introduced it just a little bit, really quickly there. So can you explain to us what is ear and or?
Ear and or, exposure. Being able to provide amazing platforms like the exposure for our young men, our young women, because we host ancillary events and things of that nature surrounding our event. We host a college admissions fair and scholarship fair. We host a Friday fun day. We host an NBA Pro Day combine. We partner with 10 high schools here to provide cap and gown. So there are a lot of initiatives that are going on. It's bigger than basketball. And access, being able to give our young men access to some of the professional opportunities, whether it's professionally in the G League, international. But when you look at the stats, our ultimate goal is to get our guys to the highest level possible in the NBA, and things of that nature, being able to provide them those opportunities. And so resources, I think that is important, being able to provide them some opportunities, resources, results. When we look at the landscape of doing some of this for our All-Stars, and the entire HBCU community. That's the important thing about this. We just don't come here and take. Deja. We give. And that's why when we say ear and or, it's for the entire HBCU culture and the community and our impact here in the great city of Indianapolis.
Yeah, wow, you have given so much. So tell me about, because it's an experience, you all classify it as an experience. We get that there's a game. Tell me a little bit about what's going on in terms of outside of the game.
Yep, I'm gonna let Felicia. I'm gonna give her assist on this.
Oh, wow, coach.
He put you in the game.
She said she wanted to get in the game, so I'm gonna give her assist.
Get in the game.
Yeah.
I feel like that was like an alley oop or something. I'm ready to slam dunk. I'll tell you that I get really excited about the work that is being done. Part of it, we talk opportunity, and we know the opportunities that student athletes are receiving as a result of this game. But here's where Travis and Kaya William bless other people. They have a nonprofit 501c3 HBCU All-Stars, a foundation. In the last 4 years, this foundation has given away almost $250,000 thanks to some of the corporate support that the HBCU All-Star Foundation has received. And this money has gone to students who are not necessarily student athletes, because one of the things that they decided as a part of the why was to be able to honor the rich tradition, legacy, and culture of HBCUs. And this is one of the ways that they are able to support that dream and mission. So it's more than just a game. And the other thing that I've gotten so excited about, a couple of years ago, we always do an HBCU All-Star Awards program where we recognize some of the diversity and inclusion champions in the community. And none other than the Reverend Jesse Jackson from Rainbow Push was at our event, and he was honored. I got excited. Almost every year, Attorney Ben Crump, who was the attorney for George Floyd, he's been at almost every single one of our events. And a lot of that happens because of Travis's attorney, Brother Mowley Davis in Atlanta. He is the Ben Crump of Atlanta. He's a civil rights attorney, and he teaches at Clark Atlanta University, an HBCU. His wife, Jana, she's a graduate of Florida A&M University and had served on the school board in the Decatur area. They are a part of the civil rights giants, and they facilitate a civil rights and social justice sort of forum panel for us. We've had Black Voters Matter, the Transformative Social Justice Coalition. I've talked about Rainbow Push. We've had the advancement of blacks in sports. And we make sure that the young people in the audience understand that we don't ever want them to be in a position where somebody say, just dribble the ball or bounce the ball and hush. We want them to use their voices. We want them to understand that they have a platform and that they are influencers and they're difference makers. And this game has created an opportunity for that and for us to bring little brown boys together under the Black Men's Lab umbrella and just really pour life into them and make deposits. And one of my favorite quotes is, to the world, you may be just one person, but one person can change the world. And that's what Travis and Kaya are doing through the development of the HBCU All-Star Game. I absolutely love that, and I can buy that every day. And that's why I want folks to buy tickets to come and support this game on Easter Sunday, because it is an experience, and it will be a celebration. It will be a homecoming of sorts. It is going to be a funky good time.
Talk about a slam dunk. I mean,
You see why? Yeah.
Wait a minute. When she said put me in the game, coach, she ain't playing. You put her in the game, you know?
You see, I'm telling you, if you see me under my suit, you see all these goosebumps I have over here.
Yeah, wow, incredible. So one of the people that you have talked about and you repeatedly said is Kaya. Speak to me about who Kaya is.
Oh, wow. I'm going to be honest. That question don't hardly come up in interviews, but I'm glad and thankful that you are asking.
It really
that
matters.
question, because I would not be sitting here without my wife's support. I'm just being very honest. So when God placed the vision in my spirit in October 2019, going through some transition and things of that nature. So I went to my wife and said, hey, baby, you got to hold this down personally, professionally, and financially, because God placed this amazing spirit, and that's the only thing that I'm going to concentrate on. So Deja, I live, eat, die, whatever for this HBCU All-Stars and HBCU All-Star Game experience movement. So what you see is a manifestation from October 2019 to where we are standing here.
Yeah.
And it was with my wife's blessing. And when I say blessing, because she had to hold it down. And there were countless nights where I'm in my desk, laying the blueprint and foundation, laying out this, where we can celebrate us during college basketball biggest weekend. Many nights she'll come wake me up from my desk and say, hey, come get in the bed. Things like that.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
what matters. That's what matters. She's a ride or die, take off her shoes, fight for her husband, fight for her family, and believes in this vision. Like I said, she's behind the scene, but there are two significant women in my life that's in this sports market, in this culture changing space that I truly believe in. It's my wife and Felicia Hall Allen, period. And so when we were going through this whole ordeal and the transition and really laying the foundation for this blueprint, my wife said it so eloquent. I don't care who you look to bring in, but make sure you have Felicia Hall Allen a part of what we're doing. And it's genuine, it's authentic, and we got opportunity to celebrate us. And so the message and story out of here for everyone that is watching this today, this is our time, especially with the landscape and everything that's going on across the country. And God placed this amazing vision. And we get to do it Easter weekend in this great city. Now, that's not your full circle moment there, but truly thankful for my wife for being there every step of the way. When I say, baby, I got to hit the road. I got to do this. And to have that support. And we have two amazing children. Tegan, who's an 8th grader at Ron Clark Academy, and Travis Jr., 7th grader at Ron Clark Academy. Two of my children are our best ambassadors with the HBCU All-Stars group. So I thank you, Deja, for asking that question about my wife, because I would not be here without my wife.
I got your family pulled up on screen. It's on the website here. Oh, wow. I just have to say, what an incredible thing you just said. Not a lot of people even mention their spouses. Sometimes when I was looking on your website, I was like, I'm surprised these guys is, wife and kids right here. Sometimes people hide their spouses, and they hide their kids, they hide their wife, they hide their family. And so I think it's amazing. I almost wish I could that she was here, so she's still holding it down, so that I could ask her a few questions, because it's not easy to sacrifice. Every wife does not do that, and they wouldn't do that. And if I'm being honest with you, sometimes they shouldn't do that. You have to trust somebody enough, and they have to have enough vision and enough follow through to do that. So what made you feel, so you said you had this sort of manifestation is the word that you use. What made you feel that you could accomplish this? Like, I get that you had a wife, and I get that, you can have this, like, really big dream, but sometimes, this is huge. Like, what you do, when I was looking at it, I had just gotten somebody had sent me a Facebook message, and they were like, oh, this story is coming to town, and then so I started doing my research, and I'm like, this is humongous. So what made you think in 2019, because this hasn't even been, hasn't been going on that long, with respect, I thought that, when I hear HBCU, sometimes I think of something that's been going on since, like, the 1800s or, in the early, like, the early 1900s. And so to hear there's, that this was, like, in approximately 2019 is when this, this idea sparked up. What made you feel that you could do this?
I think it was long overdue when you look at the landscape of our historical black colleges and universities. And like I said, I've been on both sides of now. I played at a PWI, but I had some of my most success at a HBCU. 8 of my 17 successful years of coaching were at HBCUs. So I got a chance to see the difference between the have and the have-nots. And so it's a purpose. We have goals, dreams, and aspirations come true, but it's the work. It's the being able to make a difference in lives, and it's something for our culture and our community, that we're able to celebrate us in a space that hasn't. We don't get the notoriety. We don't get the shine.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have a stigma associated with us, but we know how talented we are. We know how ambitious we are. We know how deserving we are. And so it's important to keep providing national and global platforms for our young folks and make them feel belong. We're excited to host this game here, and we've challenged the great city of Indianapolis to make this the best ever HBCU All-Star game ever. So it's for our people. It's for our people to shine. And I'm telling you, it's college basketball biggest weekend. So for me, it's a daily grind, because I know the work is needed, and it's my purpose. That's kind of how I live. It's a purpose for what I do, and the difference and the difference and the impact we can have in the world.
Wow, a purpose-driven life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back a little bit here, because I feel like men would be mad at me if I didn't ask this question in the world that we live in today. Because I'm gonna ask something about your wife. How do you find a good wife?
Ooh, man, how do I find a good one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. I didn't get married till I was about 34 years old, and
That's a good age.
and so for me, I knew I had a good wife. Just given, I watched her interaction with some of her really good friends. I'm like, you just give. If someone would call, you would just give. And I know during the time she would just give. And I knew my wife was really genuine and authentic. She didn't care about anything materialistic. She didn't care where we went. I mean, it was just one of those real good feelings. And I think for me, it was just like, it was genuine love, genuine care. And that's because I met my wife when I became the head coach at Fort Valley State University.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I met my wife, transitioning from Atlanta and moving to Fort Valley. I met my wife, and just from that first conversation, just seeing that spirit that she had about herself. And
Yeah.
so it was just a natural synergy, and she didn't take any mess from me. I think that was another thing. I mean, you know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
period. You know, that's what I like.
I think that was another thing. She checked me hard, and so I mean, and it was just real natural. It wasn't pretentious. You see a lot of fake, and
Yeah.
it was real natural, real pretentious, and she didn't need anything. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't needed. She was just good people and came from a good family, and so for me, I visualize like, man, this is kind of how I want my children, a mother of my children. And so what we see today, my son Tegan and TJ, she rides and dies for her children. And so when I'm not away, she is holding the fort down. I did a post yesterday for her January 15th celebration at AK. So shout out to the AK's Founders Day. And I said, my wife is the door. She's the door. She's the key to opening doors. I'll make sure I get it right. She's the glue that holds our family together. She's that quiet strength behind the scenes in the women in sports in this HBCU All-Stars and Game Experience movement. And so those are key characteristics why I love my wife tremendously.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's like, you know, like I feel like that almost deserves an applause, you know. If I had the applause button, if I knew which one it was, I would give an applause for that. You know, that's really awesome because, you know, you just don't hear a lot of men, you know, speak about their wives in that way, speak about women at all, especially, you know, in an athletic space. You just don't always hear that. You just don't. It sometimes is like the opposite, you know. So that's amazing.
Well, let me share. So and let me share. When I proposed to my wife, I asked her this question. And so anytime something comes up, I hold her accountable. I say, "You sure you want to marry a college basketball coach?" I mean, you can attest to this. We move. There's highs and lows of coaching. You can be hot one day, you can be fired one day. And so I asked her, I said, you sure you want to marry a college basketball coach? Because there's some highs and lows. And she said yes. And so she understood the role of a coach's wife and being able to navigate those spaces. She understands the space that we're in with HBCU All-Stars and the impact that it could make in a lot of people's lives. She's a Bennett Bell, so she gets it and she understands it. And so I think that's God-driven there. So our relationship is based off faith in our family.
Yeah, the impact that it could make, the impact that it has, absolutely made. One thing that you had said a few minutes ago was one of the goals is to get the kids to go to the NBA. Is that one of the goals at all? Well,
I'm going to let Felicia explain it why. Because, I mean, I think we need to break it down so folks can understand why this work is important and why God placed it vision. So I'm going to let, from a business affairs, because just from an agent, Felicia has that background to really put it in a perfect space.
I would say that part of the business case around why we are doing what we're doing with the HBCU All-Stars is about creating a platform for the best in Black college basketball to be showcased. There are 450 guys playing in the NBA right now today.
Okay.
There is only one guy on a roster that was a graduate of an HBCU.
Wow.
He's an alum of our 2022 HBCU All-Star Game.
Awesome.
He was at Winston-Salem State University in North Carolina. He's affiliated with the Portland Trail Blazers program.
Yeah.
Travis hosted the first ever women's All-Star Game last year in San Antonio. Here's the irony of that. The Women's Basketball Coaches Association also hosted an All-Star Game. The MVP of the All-Star Game is a young lady who's a blue chip performer. She started her basketball career, she's from Philadelphia, Diamond Johnson. She started at Rutgers University in the Big Ten, transferred to North Carolina State University in the ACC. She was an all-conference performer in the Big Ten as well as in the ACC. During COVID, decided that she was going to attend an HBCU, so she transferred again to Norfolk State University. Won MEAC Conference Player of the Year, was invited to the WBCA All-Star Game. This young lady won the MVP of the WBCA, Women's Basketball Coaches Association All-Star Game. She hit the game-winning shot.
Wow.
She left Tampa and came to San Antonio for our game. On draft night, many of the players that she competed against and with heard their names called on draft night for the WNBA. Her name was not called. There seems to be not enough opportunities for student athletes who attend HBCUs to hear their names called on draft night. And that's not just with the NBA and the NFL, with Major League Baseball, just across the sports footprint in general.
That's shocking to
It
me.
is absolutely shocking. And when you look at some of the guys who've played from the HBCU level, we got like Avery Johnson, who not only played at Southern University, but then he turned around and became an NBA head coach. You have like Ben Wallace, and you have Anthony Mason, you have like Earl the Pearl. There are just so many guys who played at that level, but all of them had to come up on the rough side of the mountain to get there, instead of just having their names be called in the way that a student athlete from the Big Ten or the ACC or the Big 12. And so this game is important because Travis and the HBCU All-Stars are creating an opportunity for them to play on the same weekend that other blue chip performers are going to be playing, because typically with the NCAA tournament format, HBCUs traditionally, when they select those top 64, 68 teams, the HBCU 2 teams end up playing the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed. That's a recipe for failure. And so many times they're knocked out the first weekend or the second weekend of the tournament. So although there'll be a number of black and brown student athletes competing in the Final Four, there will not be an HBCU. So that becomes a part of the business case for why we play the game, Final Four weekend, so that these student athletes can experience the magnitude and the excitement and the aura that surrounds the biggest weekend of the college basketball season. That's a lot to be proud about. And I get excited about guys like Chris Paul, who, although he played at Wake Forest, graduated, got a degree also from Winston-Salem State. He's been an award recipient from our Champion and Ambassadors program. Kevin Durant, who is from the Baltimore area. When he was with the Phoenix Sun, we gave him and his mom an award. He gave a huge donation back to one of the HBCUs in the area where he grew up in Baltimore. So I don't think that it goes unnoticed, but I think that this game puts a spotlight on not just the disparities, but the need for the opportunity. And that's why our community really needs to get behind those brands that support us. Brands like Capital One, where you have a Samuel Jackson, Gator. Y'all remember Gator from, what was that movie with Halle Berry and all of them? The Jungle Fever movie, Spike Lee's movie. Spike Lee is a product of an HBCU. And it's meant a lot to us to see this. And Dr. Martin Luther King, whose birthday is in a couple of days, is a product of an HBCU, Morehouse College. So I can just kind of run on a tangent about all of this, because it is more than a game for me. It's a life-changing opportunity. And this game, for a lot of these guys, it changes where they can go.
Yeah. And you all do a lot in regards to scholarships as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. What does that look like?
As Felicia mentioned, when you look at the landscape of us during the past 4 years, we've contributed over $250,000 plus in scholarship through our initiative with some of these corporate. And I want to say this point, Deja, we represent all HBCUs. I'm gonna make sure it's clear. So it's
Yeah.
just not those Final Four games, Final 14. We represent the entire culture. And so when individuals, if you're a HBCU alum, HBCU supporter, if you're a family member, it's the whole entire culture. That's what makes this so significant. And so even though the HBCU All-Star Game is represented by 48 HBCUs specific for the game, our college admissions fair, we will invite all HBCUs. We invite their leaders and presidents to come to the game and be a part, because it's about the entire culture
Yeah.
of this space. We do an internship program. So we have an opportunity in Indianapolis to hit some major milestones. With our college admissions fair, we have an opportunity to touch over 10,000 students from the previous All-Star Games. We got an opportunity to touch over 1,000 students in our internship program. And so that's big. So there's students watching this. Make sure you go to our website, hbcuallstargame.com, and sign up to be an intern and learn behind the scenes of relationship and network. That is big for us and what we do in this. So scholarships, college admissions fair, exposure, engagement, the things that we want to provide for our young folks are important. But make sure that this is important. And Felicia, it's a big part of our why.
What do internships look like?
Our internship program is an opportunity for those students who are sports management majors, business majors,
Okay, that's cool.
even those in the journalism area and in the technology area, because of course we want to really blow this out and blow this up on social media. They have an opportunity to be able to shadow some of the people that we're working with. So our PR area, there's an opportunity for that. From a marketing standpoint,
For
we
sure.
have interns. And then on game day, we've been on CBS and the CW network and Peacock streaming. They have an opportunity to go into the truck and hands-on really see what's going on behind the scenes. We had so many people to apply for the internship program for this year. Usually we wait until like a month or a month and a half before the game. Travis said, let's get started earlier this year. So we have, I don't know, there were over 100 students, over 100 that applied for the internship program. So many that we were going to select 10, but they were so phenomenal that you increased the number.
It was only for 10 for exclusive, because like what we doing, we wanted them to learn the process leading all the way up. So we said we're only going to take 10 exclusive interns leading up into the 2026 HBCU All-Star Game experience. I did a post on LinkedIn. We had over 25,000 hits.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so we end up taking about 30 to 35 exclusive interns
Jeez.
that are working with us on a day-to-day basis, learning everything leading up to it. And they're in some high-level meetings. That's a part of it. And then on top of that, we'll open up for interns that want to actually come work the game day experience, not only the game, but our ancillary experience as well. So that is important work that we're looking forward to doing with our interns.
And we'll create opportunities for students at HBCUs and historically white colleges and universities that may want to participate, who want to come to specifically around the Indianapolis area. I don't think there are any HBCUs in the state of Indiana. Central State may be the closest one,
Central
I
State is
think, to
definitely the
this
closest.
area.
Yeah.
But
and there's Kentucky too.
and Kentucky
You know.
State as well. Yeah. So
Fizz.
we will open up that opportunity for them to be able to come and work here in Indianapolis. But it is an incredible, let me make sure I say this. It's a non-paid internship opportunity for those who like to invest in themselves. And they will get a tremendous amount of exposure and be able to add something to their resume with actual sports management or journalism experience.
Yeah. And I'll just say, a non-paid, you never know what could happen, what could absolutely change your life. There are things that, that can change your life, and you don't just who you're around and who you're connected to. I know sometimes, you want to make big money, even when you're young, but, I know firsthand that, you can take the right internship that can connect you to the right people and your purpose, and that's better than, especially when you're really young, to all kinds of opportunities. I did want to go back. You were telling a story of a young woman a little earlier. How are women included or are women included at all in the HBCU game experience?
I'm so glad you asked that question because Travis was getting bombarded everywhere. When are you going to do an HBCU All-Star game for the women? So last year, year 4, we did a game for the women, and it was a huge, huge success.
Yeah.
This year, just based on the calendar, it's Easter Sunday, and what we know is that what Black people are going to do on Easter Sunday is go to church. And you've heard Travis talk a lot about how God is at the center and goes ahead of everything that we do. We want everybody to be in church. And so our game, purposefully, we won't get started with our activities until 1 o'clock on Sunday, April 5th. The game will be at 2 o'clock from 2 to 4. And we want to end the game by 4 because the women's D1 national championship will start around 4, and we want to be able to respect that and respecting women. But the time, in terms of for time restraints, we just didn't have the time to do it this year, but we will be bringing the women's HBCU All-Star game back, and it was a lot of fun. And in terms of competition, both the men and women's game was decided by only 1 or 2 points. Like when I say they go all out, you are going to be entertained if you come to this game.
Those are my favorite kind of games.
You are going to be entertained if you come to this game. And we have to tell you this, Deja. Every year, Travis has brought in an HBCU band, cheer squad, and dance team.
You got me now.
And we bring the Divine Nine out. I mean, it's hype. It's hype. It's hype.
The best DJ in the world, DJ Mosky. I mean, it'll be the hottest ticket in town to get. That's why we want to make sure they get their tickets now. Don't wait to the last minute.
Do not wait.
You don't want to be on the outside looking in because it's going to be the hottest ticket.
I gotta grab my ticket.
And DJ Mowski is going to be in Miami, right?
He's on the college football national championship.
Where Indiana is going to be
that's
playing.
Our DJ. That's our HBCU All-Star Game DJ.
Y'all don't miss this game. Do not miss this game. It is going to be so much fun. Maybe a little bit more fun than Deja's 6th grade championship. but this game is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I need to second that. So
Go ahead.
Let's make sure the folks understand, Deja. This is a total team effort. We need all hands on deck
for sure
to support some of our initiatives. Is an event of this magnitude? Is it cheap? No, this is a very expensive event because why? We want to make sure our young men, our folks are afforded the same opportunities that we're going to see with those Final 14. So everything that we do is first class. And so we have a number of initiatives that we support in our community. Felicia, the Black Business Expo. Do you want to tell about the Black Business Expo?
I want to hear about it.
Let's share this story so they know.
I get fired up about this because the Indianapolis Black Chamber is going to be helping us, the Williams family. They are going to help us to showcase Black and brown businesses on the day of the game. This has been a huge success. When we were in Phoenix, one of the businesses, because of what we were able to do, transitioned from just being like doing these stands and tents to actually having a place, a brick and mortar location where these Black and brown businesses can come together and walk out and live out their purpose of being able to serve and showcase our community. That's going to be a lot of fun. Any Black and brown businesses can be a part of what we're doing.
Wow. How does someone get to being a part of what you're doing? Do they have to send an email? Can people volunteer in any aspect?
Deja, you're on fire.
She is really killing it.
You lighting it up right about now. I'm going to use this word. What these young folks say, you're in your bag right about now. This is our language. You see how we perk it up over here. Every different market presents their own unique challenges and observations and assessments. We have to give a big shout out to the Indianapolis local community. You know, Denise Hurd and Hurd Strategy, and Borshaw, our PR companies. Also, Jolie Dalton, who serves as our grassroots ticket coordinator. Visibility. But
she messaged me.
Yeah, we have an amazing indie local organizing committee that has hit the ground running, some of your most amazing, esteemed executive and leaders in this community. And so they're touching hearts, they're touching souls, and they're impacting this community. And they're part of our HBCU All-Star Game experience and movement.
Yeah.
And so, Felicia, you can go and
Shout out to Visit Indy.
Yep.
Shout out to Visit Indy and Roberta and Paul and all of the amazing people, Chris over there. Shout out to the Indy Sports Corp for co-signing and, just acknowledging that we're coming to town. Huge, huge, huge shout out also to the Indiana Pacers organization for what they will be able to do and support. The Madam Walker Legacy Center will be where we will host 2 of our events. And when I say that they've been tremendous in their support, the members of the Divine Nine and the Masons, and everybody is coming together. We are here this weekend because the Recorder is hosting their Champions of Impact program, and they are going to showcase our promotional video and put some of the information out at the event so that everybody, I think they have over 1,100 people or 1,100 people who will be attending that event tonight in downtown Indianapolis.
Oh,
Travis said it best. The city of Indianapolis is really showing up for us. But we need y'all to show up on Sunday, April 5th after church.
Yes.
You, your mama and them, and everybody to come out and let's pack out the Corteva Coliseum on Sunday, April 5th.
Yeah. And so, and as you mentioned, we have a HBCU All-Stars Scholarship, All-Stars Foundation that supports a number of our initiatives. And there's individuals that really want to come, that's not in the state of Indiana, not in Indianapolis, that want to come across the country. You can still purchase tickets, which supports our scholarship, or donate to our HBCU All-Star Scholarship Foundation, which in turns provide high scholarships to Metro Indianapolis students or students across the country, and current HBCU students in need of financial assistance. So it's a big initiative and give back to what we do in this space.
Wow.
Really big deal.
Yeah.
Really big deal.
Wow, there is so much more than this is really, you said this earlier, this really truly is more than a game. This is more than just a game. This is a moment.
A homecoming, a family reunion, a celebration,
anniversary.
all of that.
Everything.
This is a really big deal. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to pull it up here on the screen. And so the game, it is the 5th annual HBCU All-Star Game Experience. It is Sunday, April 5th this year at Corteva Coliseum right here in Indianapolis, Indiana, at the Indiana State Fairgrounds in that area. Oh my goodness, you all, the work that you all do is just beyond. I mean, this is, I was not prepared for this. This is incredible. The impact that you all have had and that you continue to have, and how it's only going to grow. I have so much faith in you and what you all have done. I can see it. I can hear the passion in your voice, and I'm rooting for you. And I really hope that, and I already know that so many people have been impacted by what you all have done. This is a blessing. This is absolutely beyond. I mean, it not just the game, but everything else that is beyond there. I had no idea, that this was as big as what it was. I thank you guys so much for coming on here. And not only is it big, but it's international. Because at one point, I think, I don't think we talked about this at all, but you went to Paris, or you, God, you all are just, you're global,
And I'm glad you used that word global, because wow, we can't sit back idle and wait for folks to come discover the talent we had. So we had an amazing opportunity to take 10 of our 72 HBCU All-Stars at that time to participate in the K54, which is the event that's sponsored by the Jordan brand. We were one of over 20 plus nations to represent, and we represented the United States in that event.
USA.
Yeah, exactly. Prior to the U.S. Olympics arriving that year in Paris. So it was a very big moment for us. And so now we're not only national, we're globally around the world, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody knows and understands the HBCU All Stars movement. And thank you for bringing it up, because that's important work that we're doing, where we can't sit idle and just wait for others to really push us. Push our
Well,
initiative.
you do not sit idle at all. You put faith in motion at every possible level. You put faith in motion at every possible level. I am just so amazed. This has been good. If not for anybody else, for me. What an opportunity it was for me to sit here with you all.
Deja, your smile and
Yeah.
passion filled this space, and
Yes.
we are grateful that you created the time
Yes.
for us to be here today. Shout out to Herd Strategies, our PR agency of record in Indianapolis, for helping to make this happen, and Jolie Dalton with visibility. This has been great, and I'm always excited to share Mike with the coach. And we always say HB.
See you there Sunday, April 5th, Corteva Coliseum. Make sure you follow us at HBCU All-Star Game. Just don't like it. Follow us at HBCU All-Star Game on all social media platforms. We need your help. We need you in the building. Get your tickets now, because you do not want to be on the outside looking in.
HBCU there. All right. Oh my goodness. Guys, I want to thank you so much for coming on. It's been my absolute pleasure, my privilege. I'm so grateful that you guys got to come on here today. Thank you for tuning in for this week's episode of The Deep Dive with Deja. We'll be back with you next week.